I knew it. Smackdown again with a bad rant. Oh, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Smackdown was kind of mid, too, but we'll save it at the end. Let's just see what CJ got to say about Smackdown. All right. And let's go ahead and get started.
WWE should be embarrassed. They should be embarrassed with themselves. After, we have, 5-6 weeks until WrestleMania 41. Does it feel like that? You know what I'm saying? Does it really feel like that, right? Do we have any crazy great feuds happening right now? Really engaging storylines, engaging segments, meaningful segments, right? Great matches and great builds to any feud that's going to take place at Mania 41. Do we have that yet? No, we have nothing. What we have is boring segments, boring promos, and repetitive matches that we get every single week. This is absolutely ridiculous at this point. This fan base is egregious. Triple H gave them a good heel turn segment last week with John Cena at Elimination Chamber, and everyone just expected and was like, WWE's back. I'm sorry, Hunter, I didn't let you cook. He had Io Sky win. Oh my gosh, Hunter, I didn't let you cook, man. Papa H is cooking. Shut up. You know what I'm saying? Just shut up. Triple H hasn't done anything, right? WWE fans, we sit here, we just got 10 months of garbage, and all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh, the WWE is back, Triple H is cooking, Mania season is in full effect. No, it's not. This episode of SmackDown was garbage. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't make any sense. We get 10 months of garbage, and then one or two good segments, and all of a sudden, we're back? Are you kidding me? Is this really how it works, right? If my NFL team, right, loses 10 straight games and then wins one game, we're back? At a 1-10 record, we're back? Get the heck out of here with that garbage, man. Let's go ahead and break down this show because a whole lot of nothing happened as per usual. It's absolutely egregious at this point how we have to sit here every week, and we don't have to sit here, right? We're choosing to sit here because we like wrestling, of course, but the fact is that this show is garbage. Now, we start off with Randy Orton. Randy Orton, this is probably the best part of the night, at least my favorite part of the night, right? Randy Orton comes out, he gets a great reaction, you know what I'm saying? It's a welcome back pop kind of thing. He's finally back in the ring. It's great to see him after all this time. Randy Orton basically starts off the promo by kind of sitting there and in awe and reminiscing, with the crowd, because we don't know how much longer he's going to be able to do this, and he doesn't know either. So, it's something where, Randy Orton is just really grateful for the crowd. I can see Randy Orton, honestly, being a permanent babyface the rest of his career, because he probably only has maybe a few years left max, so he's probably going to be a permanent babyface from here on out. But anyways.
I don't know about that.
Randy Orton makes a rock bottom joke about John Cena, how John Cena is basically a bottom to The Rock. You know what I'm saying? For someone who is at the top of the industry, now Cena, you're a bottom to The Rock. And it gives a new emphasis and a new meaning for rock bottom. So Randy Orton makes that joke. And then after that, he basically talks about how Kevin Owens is extremely jealous and he's never satisfied, right? He attacks Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn has become a bigger and better star than he has. He attacks Cody because he's actually winning gold. And then he attacks Randy because he knows I'm better than him, right? And then he basically says that Randy Orton starts to get intense, you know what I'm saying? He starts to get passionate in the promo, and he's like, for the first time in over a decade, I started to hear the voices in my head. They were turning, and I became not satisfied with just RKOing him, and I wanted to punt his head off, and prove that Pat McAfee is not the only great punter in WWE. Really, really good line, and it brought back those '09 Randy Orton vibes, you know what I'm saying? Him and Triple H, right? Kissing Stephanie McMahon while she's knocked, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. So Randy Orton is absolutely lost it, you know what I'm saying? But this is a good thing because Randy Orton is engaging, he's entertaining, he's interesting, and he plays both sides of the coin, the heel and the face. He plays them absolutely amazing. So I'm excited for Randy Orton to do whatever he's doing next with KO, probably at Mania 41 in a no holds barred or Extreme Rules, whatever they do. I'm hyped for it because Orton is awesome.
I would recommend a last man standing match because of the punt kick and the power driver or unsation match, but whatever match they pick, eventually he's going to do it. So hopefully there'll be no interruptions.
Then we get to Tiffany Stratton versus Piper Niven. This is a filler garbage match. I really have nothing to say about this. Tiffany ends up winning the match, and afterwards she gets attacked by Charlotte. Finally, Charlotte is interacting with Tiffany Stratton. Now, it is just a basic attack, but, it is what it is, right? At least Charlotte is interacting with Tiffany. This is another main event level feud in the women's division for Mania 41 that doesn't feel like a Mania 41 level feud. There's not been any promos that have been good outside of Charlotte's one promo she cut right after the Rumble. where she was basically talking about how, you know what I'm saying, what's it called? You know, Tiffany Stratton, if you want me to fight you, you have to get down on your knees and beg. You know what I'm saying? I'm Charlotte Flair. You're a rookie. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of energy we need from Charlotte. That was a great promo she did that night. But I need more stuff like that. Not these random attacks, but this is a good start. Maybe in the next 5-6 weeks, they can actually build something special here. Charlotte puts her in the figure 4, you know, high arching figure 4, and that's pretty much that. After this happens, though, B-Fab calls out Charlotte backstage and asks for a match because they're doing the European tour, so next week they're in Barcelona, Spain, which should be a pretty crazy crowd for that. But Charlotte Flair is basically going to be fighting B-Fab next week, so we'll see how Charlotte looks in the ring in her first singles match in over like a year and a half at this point, it feels like, or I think it is that, actually, you know, technically. So there you have it.
Yeah, I don't know how this match is going to go, man. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't like that segment, you know what I mean, because she didn't even get a chance to fight back, bro. So I don't know how this is going to go, but hopefully Tiffany will be able to fight back, but I don't know. I mean, I guess they want to be careful with her knee because, you know, she's still probably having trouble with that, but I mean, she's able to walk, so I don't see the problem at all. So hopefully, at some point, it'll, you know, like, I don't know. I just hope that, you know, they do better with the storyline because it just don't seem like they're doing anything with it, in my opinion. So
then we get the tag team garbage over and over and over again. The tag team division is infuriatingly awful. Like, it is abysmal. It is abysmal. This is one of the worst states that tag team division has ever been in. The belts are meaningless. DIY comes on screen, and Smackdown dipped like 300,000 viewers a couple weeks ago when DIY segment started, like halfway through the show, or like a little over halfway through the show after the Rock and Cody segment. The reason why is because DIY sucks. You know what I'm saying? No offense, but they just suck. The way they're booked isn't good, and quite frankly, I think Johnny Gargano is, I wouldn't say that he's bad, but he's borderlining on being bad. Like, him and Tommaso are entering jobber territory because they don't elevate anything. Those belts are meaningless. The Street Profits are clearly the only tag team of value out of these 5 groups of jobbers. You know what I'm saying? It's really embarrassing to me. The Motor City Machine Bums come out and get no pop every single week, no matter how many cheesy, repetitive moves they do. Pretty Deadly is pretty dumb. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. And then Los Garza is an absolute joke. Nobody believes that they're going to do anything. Nobody cares about Los Garza. And quite frankly, they don't win any matches. Then you get to DIY. I already talked about them. They're just ratings droppers. You know what I'm saying? They don't do anything. They're not engaging. They're not entertaining. And they're not interesting at all. They're completely overrated. I don't care about NXT Black and Gold when Tommaso Ciampa beat Johnny Gargano and Johnny Gargano beat up Tommaso. It doesn't matter. What are you doing right now? Nothing. So there you have it. And the Street Profits, they obviously, you know, I don't want to go through the rigmarole with them. They have the charisma, right? They're interesting, they're engaging, they wrestle well, they're athletic, and they have good charisma, you know what I'm saying? So they can cut the promos and do all that stuff. But they've been relegated to being undercard jobbers. So now they've dragged it out enough to the point where when the Street Profits win these belts, because they're going to be the next team to win these championship belts, these tag titles, once that happens, I'm not even going to care. I genuinely don't even care anymore. You dragged it out long enough, you wasted their talents and wasted their time, so now it doesn't matter. And it's the same thing with what happened with LA Knight, who won the US Championship back. Nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? It's the US Championship, right? It's the tag team championships. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares, right? So it's just stupid. Pretty Deadly wins this triple threat tag match that nobody cares about, and now they're going to be the number 1 contenders versus the winner of Street Profits and DIY's tag team title match next week. So, you know, whatever. The tag team division sucks, and it's going to continue to be like that, you know? It's the same thing on Raw. The New Day turn heel in a great segment, and then they proceed to do nothing. Nothing. You know, so I'm just done. The New Day can't get any love from the booking. The Street Profits get no love from the booking, right? The Creed brothers don't win any matches. All these talented people do nothing. LA Knight is awesome. He cuts great promos. He wrestles consistently, wrestles good matches. And on top of that, LA Knight has an unparalleled charisma. And for some odd reason, and he's super over with the crowd, of course, right? And he's one of their top baby faces. But somehow he's relegated to you know, fighting for nothing for 2 months. And then just to finally win back the US Championship, which is the bottom of the barrel singles title. Really? Like whatever. We'll talk about that in a second. Then we get to this part of the night. Bianca and Naomi have their segment basically talking about Jade and everything that went down. A lot of people are going to praise this and say this is one of the greatest segments of all time because, like I said, when you give a WWE fan, at least these new fans, when you give them an inch, they take a mile. You give them a decent segment and they act like it's the best thing ever because they've been starved of getting garbage content, but they don't even realize it. So this segment is probably going to be called amazing, but I don't think it was amazing, and I'm going to explain why. Number one, Bianca Belair comes out, and her acting in the majority of this segment was pretty awful. It was pretty cringe. It was pretty terrible. believable. And quite frankly, Naomi's acting was good in this segment. Don't get me wrong. Naomi's acting was good, and the second half of this segment was good. But the first parts where Bianca Belair is coming out and basically pouting and, kind of like, doing the fake crying thing, and it's not a believable voice she's giving out. And she basically just says, I need answers. I should be excited because I won the chamber, but I'm not because I don't know what happened to my girl Naomi. Then she calls out Naomi. Naomi then comes out and basically they have this shouting match and they're yelling at each other. This was a decent part of the promo. And then Naomi just basically, talks about her actual thoughts on Jade Cargill. She calls Jade Cargill a leech who is leeching off of Bianca's success, her hard work, and her efforts. And it pissed Naomi off and caused Naomi to lash out. And then Bianca basically starts yelling back at her. She's like, no, stop. You know what I'm saying? She lets out this loud, stop. It's so unbelievable, right? It's just not believable. I don't want to be the guy that critiques this, but like, come on. You know what I'm saying? No one watches this and is like, oh, that's so believable. It's not. This isn't good acting. But Naomi was able to generate tears from her face that look semi-believable. And Naomi basically reveals that, yes, she did attack Jade. This is a good moment. It got a good pop from the crowd. I'll give you that. Then Bianca basically says, no, we're done. Bianca then leaves, and this whole time, by the way, for the majority of this, the crowd was chanting what after everything they were saying. So, it may just be the Philly crowd, which was pretty annoying tonight and pretty garbage, right? But it is what it is. Then after this, what's it called? Naomi basically says that Bianca is just ungrateful for everything she's done, to try and help her and fill in the void that was left when Jade got hurt. And Naomi basically calls Bianca an ungrateful B word, right? Can't say it because, you got to be clean. I'm a PG guy. What can I say, And after, Naomi says this, Jade Cargill gets out of a limo. Bianca's looking crazy. And then Jade Cargill officially comes out. Her music hits and she basically comes out there to go fight Naomi and absolutely jobs her out and hits the jaded on her in about 10 seconds. And we're supposed to believe somehow that this is a believable Mania match. It's not even close, right? It's not even remotely close. Size, strength, speed, athleticism. I mean, what are we doing here? Jade Cargill.
Yeah, one thing that I didn't like about the segment is that they had Naomi run. I honestly don't like that because Naomi wasn't running when she was with Bianca, but then all of a sudden Jade comes back, now she running. I don't like that. And not only that, she kind of failed to run anyway. I mean, see, at least Liv would have ran up out of there. Like, she faster than her. You know what I'm saying? But, shoot, Naomi, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, ain't no running from Jade when it comes to you. But I just wish that, Jade would have kept that same energy with Liv Morgan. But I understand, you want to deal with Naomi right now, but I would still rather for you to deal with Liv Morgan too. Just because of all that bullshit she been saying, but whatever.
Cargill is likely, if this is anywhere near realistic and doesn't have any stipulations on it, Jade Cargill's probably going to win this match in about 10 minutes at Mania if this even happens. But let's just say that Naomi has a chance, right? Let's just say that Naomi has a chance and it drags out. It will be even more uninteresting because it's like, why are we doing this? This feud is decent. And I'm kind of interested in it a little bit. And Naomi's playing a decent heel. But quite frankly, outside of Naomi, nothing about this segment really stood out to me as great. Naomi did a great job. She cut a passionate promo. She had believable emotions. And she kind of, solidified, the situation and, kind of elevated the story a bit. But what did Bianca do here? Seriously, let's be real with ourselves. She had a couple okay moments, but Naomi is the real, anchor of this segment. She did the best job, and this was solid for that. It was a solid segment. It wasn't a great segment, but it was solid, and it elevated some sort of modicum of hyper interest for what's going to happen with Jade and Naomi, and what will happen with Bianca and Jade after that. So we'll see. Obviously, I think this is going to eventually lead to Bianca and Jade for the World Championship, probably at SummerSlam or something. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
And we're kind of past it at this point. I'm past it at this point. I'm really not looking forward to it. I'll probably be bored to death at this point because I'm tired of Jade attacking Naomi when she could have done this to Liv Morgan. I understand she didn't do it, but still, that woman was talking trash. You could have beat her up too. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather see Liv versus Alexa at WrestleMania 41. Whether it's a tag team match or a single match. Either way, I'd rather see that. Shoot, I hope it be a singles match because I honestly, me personally, I don't even want to see a tag team match because I just feel like if it's a tag team match with Alexa and Liv, that Dom's going to come out and he's going to cost him. And if Ben Balor or Hungry Howie's not going to come out there and, and stop him, then there ain't no point of having this WrestleMania moment, especially for the titles. So if I was them, I would have just made a single match, Alexa Bliss versus Liv Morgan, because at least, Raquel will be by, her corner, and possibly Nikki Cross, you know what I'm saying? And maybe some others, I don't know. But I would rather for it to be a singles match, just to be honest. And then when the time gets closer to them getting to the tag team titles, then we'll get there. But, that's my suggestion, But I can really care too. I can really care less about Jade and Naomi at this point. I'm kind of tired of, Jade doing, attacking Naomi and she's not able to fight back. So, because when Rhea was going at Liv was always running away, even when she would bang her head in the table and throw her at the ring post. She was still able to run. So, versus with Naomi, she's like literally knocked out twice, you know what I'm saying? And that's not fair for her, because why is Naomi getting her ass kicked, but Liv Morgan can't get her ass kicked? So that's just lame to me. Like, I don't like that, because Jay could have done that to Liv Morgan, you know what I'm saying? But instead, you rather do that to Naomi because she attacked you, and I get it, but it's the same sin. So, but other than that, man, I'm rooting for Alexa versus Liv Morgan. That's all I want to see at WrestleMania 41. That's all I want to see. But let's get back to the video.
Then we get to Solo Sikoa versus Braun Strowman. This is another nothing burger of a match. The bloodline is officially dead. You know what I'm saying? Tama Tonga hasn't even been able to say his yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't even get to do that, right? And then Solo Sikoa just looks weak. You know what I'm saying? Without help from Tama Tonga, he would have gotten pinned clean by Braun Strowman in the middle of the ring. You know what I mean? He can't beat a dude clean that Jacob Fatu destroyed at Saturday Night Main Event. So now Solo looks weak. He looks soft. And for someone who just had the Ula Fala for like half a year, he now looks like an absolute jobber. You know what I'm saying? He can't even beat a dude that Jacob Fatu was destroying. And it's very clear that Jacob Fatu is next up out of this new, bloodline faction. Because quite frankly, you know what I'm saying? He's more over than Solo, right? He's better in the ring than Solo is. He's more athletic than Solo. And his gimmick and the way he delivers his promos is just better than Solo. He's better than Solo at basically everything is what I'm trying to say. And so once they fight at Mania 41, which will likely happen, Solo's going to lose that match and Jacob Fatu will therefore be elevated. The writing's on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Some say the writing's on the wall. You know what I'm saying? It's just over. So, that's just the way I see it. I don't really have any faith in Solo Sikoa going forward in any of these stories. After this happens, when Tama Tonga interrupts the match, Braun Strowman stands tall after beating up Tama Tonga. Then Jacob Fatu comes out and beats up Braun Strowman, okay? They brawl with each other into the crowd, and this is one of the most botchiest brawls of all time, right? The hits look fake, the punches look fake, the spots are pretty mid, until Braun Strowman just does a nice little choke slam to Jacob Fatu through some tables in the arena, and that's it. That's really all there is to talk about. Like I said, the bloodline is dead. The fact that Solo Sikoa fell off, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't even on top to begin with, but he was improving to a certain extent. And then around the time when Roman actually started getting involved and showing up full time, it showed how much of a jobber that Solo is, right? And now Roman's barely involved with anything, literally anything at all in the company. So it's just over. He's on the cover of the new 2K game, which is great. It's marketed around him. It's centered around him and his family and his storylines that he's cultivated and created. And that's great. But Roman Reigns, doing nothing over the last 4 months since Survivor Series, has basically made it so that the bloodline storyline is dead. After Roman Reigns does this eventual probable feud with Rollins or Punk or both of them or whatever for Mania 41, it's not a bad bet to say that Roman Reigns should likely just continue to go on a once every 3 months show up schedule until The Rock is able to build for next year's Mania. You know what I'm saying? That's it. The only meaningful things Roman has to do left at this point is maybe have a feud with Drew one more time, right? Maybe have a feud with an up and coming talent like a Braun Breaker or something, and then obviously one more feud with Rollins, of course, and then one feud with The Rock, and that's pretty much it. Maybe a program with Cena this year because it's his last year. Maybe an individual program with Punk, but come on. Roman is probably in his last few years, and, quite frankly, it's unfortunate to say that because Roman Reigns is such an amazing performer. You know what I'm saying? He's the reason I got back into, wrestling recently, but it's just sad to see what's happening here. He's not showing up, and it is what it is. Then we get to more replays of this. Oh, we're going to get Cody Rhodes is going to respond to the Cena stuff tonight. He's going to respond. Stop. Stop with these replays. We all saw the segment. They keep bragging about how it has 500 million social media views, as if 500 million people worldwide actually chose to turn on their phones and looked up this segment. No one looked it up. It popped up in their feed and they watched it. Relax. Then we get to Chelsea Green versus Michin. And also another thing, 500 million views, right? Globally or whatever the heck they say. The globally stuff, you know what I'm saying? We have 500 million views, man. Everyone was tuning in, yada, yada, yada. Well, guess what? How many of those people are tuning into Raw and SmackDown? Because 1.4 million are tuning into SmackDown, on average. And then what? 2.8 million or 2.6 million are tuning in for Raw globally? But you got 500 million views though, right? Right? 500 million views. How many views you getting week to week? Not even 1% of that 500 million is tuning into your shows weekly. So clearly nobody cares enough. And neither does John Cena because he ain't there. We'll talk about him in a second. Then we get Chelsea Green versus Michin for the Chelsea Green versus Michin belt. This is absolutely egregious at this point, and it's redundant. We've seen this a billion times. I don't care if it's a hardcore match, a garbage match, a street match. Nobody cares. This crowd was dead for Michin. They were pretty much dead for Chelsea Green because this crowd was dead for most of the night. Nobody cares. Right? The crowd was chanting E-A-G-L-E-S, Egos. You know what I'm saying? They're getting cheap pops the whole match. That's all it was. Michin is officially a jobber. It's been this way for months, but now she's had at least like 20 plus singles matches on the main roster, it feels like. She's had chances to cut promos. She's had chances to go backstage and do video segments and promos and stuff like that. Brawls. We've seen everything we need to see with Michin. Her theme is still garbage, and she gets no reaction from the crowd. So guess what, Hunter? It's time to move on. If Blair Davenport gets 3 matches on the main roster and you decide she's done, and then Michin, who gets the equal amount of no reaction, doesn't elevate stories or anything, cuts bad promos when she has a chance, and is wrestling mid-matches, why is she still on the roster? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, man. So, Michin, I'm not saying she should be fired, but like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to be balanced. If you're going to fire a bunch of women that don't even get a chance, like, why are you not firing Michin then? You know what I'm saying? You gave her a chance that she isn't delivering, so it's like, what do you want, But anyways, Alba Fire ends up helping Chelsea Green win this match, and that's pretty much all there is to speak about. Alba Fire is obviously a glorified jobber, and so is her partner Isla Dawn, who got fired. So there you go.
She won't be a jobber once she win that United States title.
Then we get the quasi-main event of the night, which is Cody Rhodes' promo. Everyone, just like the Bianca and Naomi segment, are going to be glazing this promo. Because quite frankly, as I said, people don't realize that they're being cultivated, right? They're saying that the stuff is great week to week, but clearly it's not. If this promo is cut by Cody Rhodes and you think this is great and it's one of his greatest promos, then you're just not that guy, right? You don't understand what you're watching. You know what I'm saying? At least in my personal opinion. Cody Rhodes basically cuts a promo, right? And he's like, last Saturday at Elimination Chamber, I ran into a wall that was created by the final boss, Travis Scott and John Cena. Now, let me get this straight. Travis Scott, right, slapped this dude for real. Like, actually punched him for real, which is just so unnecessary and crazy. But anyways, he busted Cody's eardrum and gave him a black eye. How is it possible that someone can do that to you, and the best thing that Cody Rhodes can do is look in the camera and just say, the final boss had Travis Scott, and then proceed to talk about Cena? Are you kidding me? Cody Rhodes shows zero fight and zero intensity at all. At all. He gives you 10 seconds on the mic where he's yelling, and it's like, oh yeah, there's some intensity. And then he disappears for 5 weeks and cuts a bad promo every week, and then wrestles one match, and then is back to cutting unintense and lackadaisical promos. But we're supposed to treat this guy like he's amazing? This is someone who's had the belt for 300 plus days, and you can't tell me more than matter of fact, no. You can't tell me more than one great segment or promo he's had since becoming champion. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is embarrassing, And it gets even worse because Cody Rhodes basically says, I used to travel on the road with John Cena. We were buddies. We used to talk all the time. I would drive him around. We would do road trips together in this industry. And I have to now tell my daughter that their dad fell outside, or he said something like, daddy got like hit by some, like, what did he say? He said, I have to tell my daughter some excuse, like I got hit in the face, or I tripped or something, or I fell. Like, what are you talking about? Your daughter knows you're a pro wrestler. No one believes that you fell. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you even saying? And then he says that, Cody's like, but the thing is, I have to now tell everyone that John Cena, who paraded around saying he never gives up, he gave up. And then he proceeds to basically talk about, I'm sure Cena will come back with some sort of retort because I respect you, Cena. I respected you. I loved you and I appreciated you. Shut up. Just stop it. And then this is when it gets ridiculous. Cody starts bringing up his dad, right? Dusty Rhodes, you know what I'm saying? He brings up Dusty Rhodes, and he basically talked about how Dusty Rhodes was afraid to wrestle in Philly, you know what I'm saying? So he put on some face paint and all this other stuff. I'm like, dude, you put on face paint for years as Stardust. You know what I'm saying? So what are you talking about? Then we get to the part where Cody Rhodes basically says the most egregious statement ever, and basically says out loud with a straight face, he says, John Cena, I am your successor. Your successor doesn't have to look like you or act like you or be like you to be the next, top dog in the industry. And I'm your successor. Are you kidding me? And then he says to John Cena, you want some? Come get some. This is absolutely egregious. Number one, Cody is literally speaking to no one, no pun intended, because we know John Cena will not be on any shows next week, and he might be on one the week after, like on the 17th or the 21st or something like that. It's over. You know what I'm saying? You're speaking to a dead wall. John Cena is not showing up next week, and next week Cody Rhodes is going to be on Miz TV. So you come out in a suit, you cut your promo, just for next week you're going to come out in a suit and cut another promo on Miz TV. So what is what did this promo accomplish? You know what I'm saying? And you calling yourself John Cena's successor is egregious. You're telling me that someone who's been in the industry for 20 plus years and has one world championship victory, right? That John Cena helped you get, by the way. You have one world championship victory, and you were at one point, you were a complete jobber named Stardust, right? And you're telling me that you're John Cena's successor? Arguably the greatest of all time, John Cena, right? One of the greatest of all time on the mic. A model of consistency in the ring, right? A great champion. A workhorse. You know what I'm saying? Someone who carried the industry on his back for years. The best babyface WWE has ever had. And you're telling me that you're John Cena's successor? What have you done? One championship reign in 20 years? And you're the successor? What is this? Are people actually sitting back and feeding in this narrative? Is this a joke? This is embarrassing. I don't want to ever hear anything from this guy again. This is probably one of the worst promos I think I've ever seen, because it's built on lies and garbage and pointless nonsense, because John Cena's not there to respond to anything he's saying. This is the episode after John Cena's amazing historic heel turn, and John Cena's not even going to show up for 3 weeks. And then you say you want some, come get some. Travis Scott, John Cena, and The Rock already got some. They busted your face open and destroyed you in the middle of the ring and embarrassed you in front of your family. What do you mean come get some? They already got some. Heck, they got more than some. Why don't you come get some? Why don't you come cut a good promo? So this elevated nothing. I'm not more excited. Like I said, people are going to act like this promo is an all-timer, but it's not when you really think about it for more than 30 seconds. So it's absolutely ridiculous. This is a waste of my time, and it was garbage.
Yeah, Travis went in on Cody's face. Pause.
Speaking of garbage, we then got Drew McIntyre versus Jimmy Uso, which no one cares about. Jimmy Uso just pinned this dude clean like 2 weeks ago. So at that point, once you've lost to Jimmy Uso in a singles match, it's over. There's nothing you can do anymore at that point. You're already done. Drew McIntyre wins off of a Claymore kick, but nobody cares. After this happens, he gets in a brawl with Damian Priest, and this basically sets up that Damian Priest and Drew are going to have an ongoing feud for Mania 41 for nothing. Drew McIntyre is officially an ultimate jobber, and Damian Priest got zero reaction when he came out. Because the truth is, Damian Priest is a bona fide jobber. It just is what it is. Drew McIntyre is now headed towards jobber status as well, because we know that Cody or Cena is going to be holding the WWE Championship for the majority of this year, if not the rest of this year. We know that Jey Uso is going to hold that world title belt for at least 4 or 5 months when he wins it at Mania 41 versus Gunther. We know that he ain't winning the IC belt, because that's going to be on Braun or Sheamus or someone else like that. And then the US Championship was just won back by LA Knight, and it's probably going to be taken by Jimmy Uso or Carmelo Hayes soon anyways. So what belt is Drew going to be competing for this year? What is he going to do? The I can't stop thinking about Punk belt? That's what he's got? This is just an embarrassment. Everything about the show is just embarrassingly awful. That's exactly what this is. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? It just, nothing makes sense. It's a garbage episode, right? So then we get to the main event. The main event is basically LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Like I mentioned last week, I already knew there wasn't going to be much to say about this match, because LA Knight is fighting for something that he should have never lost. You know what I'm saying? He's taking back his title that he never lost, yeah? He should have never lost this belt in the first place. The belt is the bottom of in the singles championship realm, right? The US Championship is pegged at the bottom. It's the bottom of the pegging order. So why does this matter? LA Knight has a great US Championship reign for about 3 months, loses it to Shinsuke Nakamura, who proceeds to have one of the worst championship reigns ever, where he defends the belt maybe 1 time or 2 times in 4 months, and it was maybe on 5 Smackdowns total in that span. And you're telling me that LA Knight has done all this great work over the last year and a half to get rewarded with 2 US Championship reigns that are probably both going to be 2 or 3 months max? What? And we're praising Triple H like he's some generational booker. I don't care that LA Knight won the U.S. Championship back. He should have never lost it to begin with. You know what I'm saying? The earliest he should have lost it is Mania 41. And that's stretching it, because LA Knight was elevating that belt, wrestling consistently, cutting great promos, being amazingly charismatic, being super over, building his stock even more while he's already rising. So I don't get this, The bottom line is that SmackDown is a complete and utter disaster, and there's no way around it anymore. We have to stop sitting here and acting like 1 or 2 good moments makes up for the following 3 or 4 weeks that end up being terrible. This is an embarrassing show. I don't care whether you love it, you hate it, you like it, you don't like it. You're going to have to sit back and do nothing and like it and enjoy the ride that CJAX is taking you on. Man, I love saying that, dude. The Rock's promos last year were so incredible. They still have an impact on me to this day, But anyways, this episode gets a solid 2 out of 10. Maybe, actually, no, that's too much. I'll give it a 3 out of 10, right? It's a 3 out of 10 episode because it had some good moments like with Orton and, the Naomi stuff as well. And that was pretty much that. Other than that, there's nothing to talk about on this show. The Cody Rhodes segment, I thought the line of, you want some, come get some was decent until I broke it down and realized it makes no sense and it's an absolute lie. You know what I'm saying? It's a fabrication of reality. So this episode gets a 3 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll give it an extra 4 out of 10 because it's in Philly, you know what I'm saying? So I give it that. But it's like a 3 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10 at best. You know what I'm saying? This is an F tier episode and it was absolute and utter garbage. Pointless, whole lot of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Big old nothing burger. So thank you guys for watching. Have a phenomenal day and peace out and one love.
Hey, look, let's all agree that SmackDown was kind of mid, but shout out to LA Knight. I'm glad that he won the United States title. I'm glad Triple H had him win that title back. But however, as for Chelsea Green, I do think that somebody got to take the title from her, but I would rather for it to be Selena. But I don't know how Selena going to take it when she got 2 people backing her up, you know what I mean? So she going to need backup. I don't know if she need Michi and B-Fab, but somebody got to back her up because she's all alone on this one. You know what I'm saying? So there got to be another way, you know what I mean? So hopefully something will happen. But however, let's just see how it goes. But the main thing I want to see next week is Alexa Bliss. So hopefully we'll see Alexa Bliss next Friday or next Monday. But so far, I haven't seen any signals of her coming, but we need her to come sooner because you can't just do 2 matches and then not come back. You know what I mean? We haven't seen you since Elimination Chamber. So, I mean, if you're waiting for Bo Dallas, I don't know why, because Bo Dallas haven't even went after the Judgment Day yet. They haven't went after Dom, Carlito. I guess we're waiting until. I guess we're waiting until Finn Balor gets kicked out, but who knows when that's going to happen. I hope it happens next week, but if it happens next week, then you know what's going to happen. If, how I look at it like this, basically, if Finn Balor wins the Intercontinental title, what should happen is that Carlito should hit Finn Balor from behind, and then him and Dom get to stomping on him. You know what I'm saying? And then if he looking for answers, he will wait till next week. You know what I'm saying? And figure out why, what happened. But we all know why happened. You got kicked out, bro. And the reason why you got kicked out is because you were showing jealousy. So then, and unfortunately, Liv Morgan's in on it because you were hating on her too. So, you two had a partnership until that partnership went down because, you were hating on her. So now the tables is turned. But then at that moment, who's going to be added to the group? Well, hopefully Karrion Kross. So that way we can see the Wyatts coming after. But if that happens, hopefully Finn Balor will become the Demon, and then he won't be alone because he'll have the Wyatts and he'll have Alexa Bliss. So hopefully that will happen. But it's going to take a couple weeks for it to build up, though. So hopefully it'll start next week. But however, if Finn Balor lose, then at that point we need Finn Balor to actually show his true colors. Otherwise, still, Dom can still outnumber you with Carlito because, it's meant to be. So obviously Finn Balor is going to make Dom look strong because basically, because of the turnaround, you know what I mean? So we'll see what happens, but next Friday, I better see Alexa Bliss. Otherwise, we're just going to have to wait until Finn Balor gets kicked out. But we do know that he's going to get kicked out before WrestleMania. But however, what's going to happen with Liv and Finn Balor? Are they ever going to make up? I don't know. Y'all comment down below, let me know. And also, what do you guys think about SmackDown? Do you thought it was mid or do you think it was okay? The only part that was good was just Randy Orton, LA Knight, and that's it. Everything else was kind of mid, especially the Bianca and Jay situation. So y'all get on the comment box and talk about it. If you like to talk about the Bianca and Jay and Naomi situation, feel free to talk about it down below, all right? So get on the comment box. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new, and I'll catch y'all in the next video, all right? I'm out.